All right, friend, action. Um, we are going to, oops, I forgot the chips. We are going to work with chips again. Doing multiplication, no division, just multiplication to determine the signs, negative or positive, like we've done in the past, right? You're super good at the numbers piece, the abstract piece. You're super good at the rules. We're going to practice why the rules are there, if that makes sense. Chips are going to tell us how we got to negative, how we got to positive numbers. All right? So there's going to be, to break it down, the agenda will be, and I'm going to go through a few of the, I'll have 3 or 4 problems to do, and then we will do 2 or 3 together, and then you will do a few together, and then there'll be an exit ticket. I do have this on hand, although I've noticed you use it less and less and less. And you also are using a calculator. We don't even need a calculator anymore. How's that? Well done, you. I am trying to find. Okay, this is a data sheet for me. These are the I do problems. All right. Pretty straightforward. We've used the chips in the past, but what I'm going to do this time is connected to real world, which we actually touched on a couple lessons back. Remember how we touched on red and black indicate finance? They use those terms in finances. If you're in the black, you're positive. If you're in the red, you're negative. So being in the red, you're in debt. Remember all that? We're going to use those point of references this time. I thought that might help. Even though yellow is the positive, not black. I know. So we're gonna have to remember that.
Maybe we could write yellow is negative. Wait,
Yes.
yellow is positive, red is negative.
Exactly. Well done, you. That's a Y. And red, negative. And we're going to use terms like O. Thank you. We're going to use a term instead of saying, we're going to use the word O, like I owe. You'll see what I'm talking about. We'll get there. I'm just going to might use different terms here and there that I haven't used in the past. Straightforward in the beginning. So with each one I've learned that with each problem, there's a different kind of modeling. Some you build, some you take away. And some, remember this, 0 pairs. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And you actually touched on it the last time we did this, and you were spot on. That was great. That was pretty cool. All right, so the first one we're gonna do is a build. 3 times 2. Pretty straightforward, right? 3 groups of 2. Right, so I'm gonna build 3 separate groups of 2. And we come up with, so this is 1, 2, 3, all together equals 6. So we've built that. Oops, but it's supposed to be, look what I did wrong. You didn't catch me. Look what I did wrong. So what do we have? 3 groups of
6.
negative or positive?
Negative. Or positive.
Positive. If I start rushing, you can always tell me to slow down, okay? Mm-hmm. I do rush. It's one thing I know about myself. My natural state. So I have to remind myself to slow down. Now, second problem is going to be 3 times negative 2. I need to make 3 groups of -2, this time red, not the yellow. Pretty straightforward, I would think, right? We have 1 set, 2 set, 3 set, 2, 4, 6 to equal -6. So we build those, all right? Now, things are gonna get a little trickier. So that was like a bit of a refresher for you. This, we're gonna start taking away. This is -3 times 2.
-6.
I am going to, yes, I know you know it's -6. You're quick at that. But why is it -6?
Because I know that 3 times 2 is 6.
So let's start there. 3 times 2 is 6. And is 2 negative or positive?
Positive.
All right, so we're going to put down 3 groups of +2. Right? But you already predicted the answer is -6. How do we turn these into a negative when they're positive? Yeah, that's the tricky part, right? The -3 says take them away. That's what it says. So I'm going to take them away. But we're not left with 0. What we're left with is we owe the bank, let's say, 6. So is that a negative or a positive?
Negative.
Did you follow that? That makes sense? So we owed the bank, thereby we're negative. That was 1, 2, 3. And then the 4th one. Come back. I feel like I'm moving quick. I'll slow down. The 4th one, this is a -3 times a -2. This is really tricky in my head. This is where the 0 pairs come in. Everything's negative. We don't have anything right now. We're starting at 0. Well, actually, we actually haven't started at 0. We have to create 0. And that's when you, remember when you brought up finding 0 pairs? How do we find 0 pairs?
I forgot.
You forgot.
Yes.
We are going to create 3 groups, right? 3 groups. In order to take away, we're going to 3 groups containing both positive 2s and -2. All right? And then again, so we have 3 groups of both positive and -2s. Does that make sense? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. We created, we're at 0. This is basically 0. What do you think the next step would be to get to 6? Be it positive or negative, we don't know yet, right? Or do you? You have a prediction?
Positive.
You think it's going to be positive? We are going to take away, so now we have 0 pairs. We are going to take away, the 3 is already accounted for. 1, 2, 3, 3 groups. So we're going to take away the 2s. And what are we